Welcome back to the absolute most professional StarCraft 2, where I'm always excited to introduce the most Terran in the history of the game. In the bottom right of the red, it's ByuN. But up against him, quite a challenger. The #1 ranked player in the world, and considered by many, including myself, to be the greatest StarCraft 2 player of all time. It's the finisher. It's Serral. A best of 3 TVZ in the production tab. Already looks like we expected it to be. A Reaper. Well, multiple Reapers in production. And already one in Serral's main. ByuN not hesitating to start things off strong, just like I won't hesitate to beg you for likes and subscribes. And Jimmy, quickly! 1,224 likes on this series, on this cast. Oh my god, he got a drone. Save a drone. 1,224 likes. I'll cast another series. And I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. Hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. As Serral versus ByuN. And ByuN doing exactly what you would expect him to do to start things off. The most headstrong, stylistic, inspiring, impressive, and indignant Terran of all time. He will make Reapers and Marines work, or he will literally die trying. Or at least his wrist might. Unclear which. It's going to be just a couple Reapers into 3 racks Marine. That's it. Marines. Like, and then, no, more Marines. 1 Reaper shredded. Another one dives into the main. Slaughtered as well. Serral able to hunt them down and kill them with that Zergling speed. So far, well, he should know what's coming out behind this. As, well, one, he's playing ByuN, so you probably don't need to scout particularly much, except to know exactly when he's building Marines, not whether he's going to. Got combat shield and stim on the way. No +1, no factory. And there, obviously, no starport behind. He's just going to be waltzing across the map with as many Marines as possible. Baneling Nest is on the way. Serral making an admission that Zerglings might not be enough. He constantly has Zerglings right at the edge of Marine range. 1, possibly baiting a stim, and 2, just to keep about perfect tabs on him. However he can. And Serral always gets a ling in. He saw the factory timing. He knows what this is. You just need to build lings. He's pulling the queens off the line in order to head to the front here. Serral usually has a select all queens hotkey as well, as you can see here. Just for situations like these. You know what? There's a lot of situations you might want that in the early game. He baits out a stim. 1 queen suffers for it. But that stim is permanent damage. The Zergling's pulling back. He's trying to wait it out. Trying to get another stim out of him. The queen's helping out. Stims again. And he won't stop stimming. But I think Serral is thinning this out. The queen pulls back. The Zerglings. And Serral. Wow. What a demoralizing experience that must have been for those Marines. The Zerglings just barely enough at all times to keep them from really making any progress. The final trade is 20 Marines for 41 lings, a couple queens, which seems pretty good, but if Serral's able to hold on to 3 bases and keep his creep spread going and not really slow down the rest of his economy, he can trade maybe... Oh, well, it doesn't seem great, but he can trade a little inefficiently, so that way he gets more and more control of the game later on. Because if he's able to trade just a couple lings for each Marine now, he can easily get to an overwhelming amount of banelings later. Overlord comes in. Surprised there was still an Overlord alive at all to do so. Even more surprised Serral got supply blocked off that. But he has more on the way. ByuN does not have a 3rd command center. He's doubling down, even tripling down in the Marines, as he has Barracks 4 and 5 and reactors on the way, +1 as well, and double medevac loaded up with whatever he had to join up with the push. Siege tank and some more Marines. But ByuN is going to lay on the aggression, and it's up to Serral to defend. The siege tank is already on the 4th. He boosts it over the rocks just to get there quicker. Serral just pre-cancels, not bothering. Needs those minerals now for the defense. Actually struggling to spend his money a bit, as the queens were gunned down and pulled off the line in general. Siege tank in position, gets a hit on the queens. Couple banelings here. Baneling speed still 30 seconds out. And Serral, he's supply blocked the overlords. ByuN backs himself into a corner, but who's locked in here with who? The corrosive bow. He really wanted to save the tank. He might have been able to, but at the end of the day, the corrosive bows are going to be enough. ByuN, another double drop. Loaded up. The double-double here. Typical ByuN. When in doubt, keep calm and drop the main. Serral, 59 drones. Didn't handle that push perfectly, but he did handle it. Baneling speed is now down, +1 carapace. Just to try to weather these attacks. He's got Roach, Ling, Bane across the board here. Marines stim in. Looking for whatever they could get. It's just going to be Zerglings for now, as Serral anticipated this and had the Marines. Well, they didn't die, though. Wait a second. All right, well, down goes another couple queens, making it that much harder to clean them up later. Serral down 10, 12 supply here, which scales pretty quickly, considering, look at the army supply. 72 to 52, and dropping. The Marines keep stimming in. The siege tanks on the low ground, the banelings. Oh, a big hit takes out a few more. ByuN drops out, consolidates his forces. Siege tank will go down. Queen barely alive here. And Serral survives, but at what cost? Serral just, well, there's only 3 Marines at the back. We'll pick up in just the threat on this side of the map. ByuN is stuck on 2 bases. He does not have a 3rd command center. He can always lift from his main to his 3rd, but that's never going to equal the economy of having a straight-up 3 bases. He still only has 49 SCVs, plenty for 2 base, and he still has the supply lead with significantly more army supply. Serral, though, is able to cut off some of the reinforcements. Rips apart a tank, gets a few Marines. Is going to have to give up the base. Another medevac goes down. Liberator sieging up. The Ravager is getting caught. 2 go down. Another siege tank comes up. +1/+1 is now done for ByuN. Falling back to his tank. And the Marine count is too damn high. The Zerglings. Corrosive Bile takes out the tank, but he still has the Marines. And target fire. 1, 2, 3. Gets them all! Oh my! Down go the banelings. The Marines stand tall and keep firing. And just enough Ravagers and legs. But ByuN, the banelings evaporated. And Serral's struggling to keep up. But at the end of the day, well, ByuN is starting to run out of minerals in his main. He's run out of the large patches. It'd only be a couple minutes till he starts mining out of the others. Serral now has a supply lead, though a lot of it is in roaches. He's lifting his main. An old trick, but not a bad one. Serral knows it's not worth it to lose Zerglings for SCVs against someone, especially who's lifting their main. You just need to survive. All Serral has to do is get enough units to hold, and he can eventually outlast ByuN. A scan sees the infestation pit. I'm sure that'll add a bit of hastiness here. The siege tank's in a pretty nasty position on the high ground. There's no high ground vision for Serral. He can't actually take this out without it. The corrosive bows would usually easily deal with it, but a big counterattack. The Zerglings, but Marines in the mineral line. Oh my god, with the SCVs. A beautiful counterattack defense. ByuN anticipating the counter from the Zerglings. And suddenly Serral, once again left without a 4th base. He's trying the top right, but he's running out of opportunities to mine here. A triple drop is loaded up. And there's not going to be enough unit. Just a few queens in the main. Serral scrambling to defend. But ByuN is dropping the base like it's a new Skrillex album here. And now, oh, the Marine count is too damn high. Serral plummeting in supply. The Marines load right back up into the medevacs, and Serral doesn't have anything that trades well. He was relying on a better economy, on the ability to overwhelm the Terran army. But even now, he doesn't even have that great of an economy. The Banelings will connect for now. Widowmines being added in. Everything loaded up into the medevacs. I don't know, maybe ByuN's doesn't even realize how great his advantage is now. But Serral doesn't have any reliable way to deal with the medevacs. He doesn't have a hive for Vipers. There's no lurkers here. There's nothing that competes with Marine tank on the ground. Even Widowmines being added in. That could be a double-edged sword. If he gets a oh, Serral! That medevac is so... The most important... Oh my god, almost loses it. The Banelings roll in. That's exactly 14 SCVs. But again, Serral's fourth base is getting hit. The drones, he really wants to crush this. But there's such a deep back line here. Multiple Widowmines with siege tanks. The multi-layered defense. And now the Marauders are moving up. He's added Marauders in as a meat shield here. Oh, falling back. Gets a hit. And Widowmine's doing well, but is it well enough? +2 melee. ByuN, unable to close the distance, but the Widowmine's not being cleaned up. Needs Overseers. There's not a single Overseer on the map. Did Serral not notice the Widowmines? He may try to deal with it with the Ravagers, which is not a particularly reliable method. Oh my, and the mines are recharging. Scanning for another base. ByuN knows that he's gonna attack here again. The fact that those mines were allowed to recharge is a big mistake out of Serral. He just didn't have anything to deal with them. The Zerglings looking... Is that... He built another command center, alright. He isn't floating as natural, not yet at least. The Banelings trying to roll in. There's so much DPS on the back here. The Ravagers looking for a connection. Queen gun down. Zergling counter, but barely getting through. Serral is holding. But at what cost? Hive is only now on the way. A Viper or two would be so helpful. Any other Zerg would have been dead several times over, but Serral manages to keep it together. Oh, he misses the Widowmine. Almost impossible to see it, with the... Not just because of the vision blockers. Overseer finally comes out. He's been hurting for money so badly. Gonna try to use the Widowmines maybe against him, or just send out a counterattack. Corrosive Bio, very threatening. And another counter. ByuN only has 36 SCVs. That Baneling counter was a huge deal. And now the Zerglings coming in will trigger the mines. Clears them up. Serral is turning this again. ByuN has kept so much momentum throughout this match. He's had the army supply lead for the better part of 10 minutes, if not all of it. The income, Serral has been able, once he got that fourth base back up, he's been fighting so hard to get a fourth base. And it's finally paying off. But ByuN very technically has a fourth of his own. We'll call it that, I guess. He has a base in where the fourth... Oh, nice. Little split there on the Zerglings as he comes around the corner. Again, gonna deny some mining. What a game. Yeah, they're both so good at what they do. Oh, the... Which is losing infestors before birth. No! There's so much going on. Serral has been struggling to just keep it together, but ByuN can't quite lay down the killing blow. And Serral always puts together just enough. Barely in time. Does he have adrenal glands? No. But... is there a Viper out there? There isn't. Big counterattack. Cleaned up. The Zergling count plummeting. Up to 84. He just finished a whole lot more. He's lost 440 Zerglings in just 16 minutes. And at no point have either of them been maxed out. This is the closest we've been. Widowmine's being dealt with the Ravagers, a very dark-esque style of always having a few Ravagers mixed in. Burrow is not done yet, but he scans just in case. There's a dog right there by the watchtower. Ready? Massive drop in the back of the main. Serral never really cleaned it up. He had no way to do so. Keeps the spawning pool alive, but another attack. The bio armies are everywhere. Are there any Widowmines with this? It looks like no. Banelings rolling past, trying to find the juicy core of Marines instead of the tough and not-so-tender Marauders. Beautiful fungal. Gonna soften up, chains it together on the Medivacs. Not quite enough to kill them, but brings them in that deadly range. Another drop. He comes back into the main. The army is thinned out. He's got 3-2 done. They just keep going at it. The supplies dropping yet again. Another fungal, this time onto the Marauders. The Ravager's not firing off those corrosive bows. Fires a volley across the bow and hits some of the... Oh, Banelings rolling in, getting the Marines, but Serral losing so much. Both sides losing so much. The entire drop was taken out, but the Medivacs are still intact, and they're going to join up with the reinforcements that head towards the center of the map. And now, Banelings underneath. Oh my. Massive hit. The Widowmine count is so damn high. There's nothing. He doesn't have any Vipers. He needs Vipers so badly. He just can't. I'm actually very surprised he can't afford them. He just hasn't been popping them out. And now ByuN. This might be it. +3 Carapace is about to complete, but there's no more Banelings on the map. There's no more damage yet to be done. ByuN, after 18 minutes of back and forth battles, finally breaks Serral. At great cost and with great effort. But ByuN is able to do it by that much. Wow. What a game. That's exhausting. Serral just unable to really... I really was surprised to see no Vipers. As soon as he got a Hive, usually that's the default. But Serral struggling to put anything on the field, honestly. ByuN keeping so much pressure on, and in such a ByuN manner. It wasn't like a Turtley Liberator or Planet. It wasn't planetary. He was floating his command centers. Okay, so that is whatever the opposite of turtling is. It's essentially packing up your tent and taking it over to another expansion. So, a very ByuN game to start things off, and it allows him to barely scratch out a 1-0 lead. That is the map that does seem to have Terrans have a lot of success even against Serral. It's just such a small rush distance. There's so many opportunities to do little tank pushes and to kind of abuse the Zerg's lack of anti-air. But at the end of the day, you still have to keep up with Serral, and ByuN proves he can do it. Game 2, Golden Aura. Can you believe it? Reapers. Wow. Really groundbreaking. Not just one, not just two, but 3 Barracks Reaper from ByuN. Fear the Reaper, man. It's like I only got to build 2 last game. We're gonna go for like 12 this one. We'll see, actually. Zergling speed. Gonna be the most important upgrade to watch out for here. I'm sure ByuN knows the timing. Triple Reaper production. So, before we get too far into... Oh my god, not the creep tumor. ByuN was by far the most capable of the Reaper players. He essentially based his 2016 World Championship, where he defeated Dark, spoilers by the way, with a whole bunch of Reaper builds to either get a lead or outright win the game. The Reaper since then was nerfed. The cooldown on the grenade is twice as long. It's now 14, it was 7 seconds. It does half as much damage. It did 10 damage. It now does 5. None of this has stopped ByuN from deciding he's gonna make Mass Reaper. But Serral, Built plenty of Zerglings, and honestly, the Reaper Micro was good, but it has to be perfect. Those changes, those nerfs have brought the Reaper from somewhat of a nearly impossible to, like, an impossible to mess up tool to something that requires significantly more finesse. And as we saw there, even one mistake can result in a whole lot of dead Reapers. But that won't stop ByuN from doing it anyways, because of course he's gonna go Reapers, he's ByuN. He will go Reapers until both of his hands fall off. And even then, I think for you Zerg players actually looking to learn out here, just, we're swerving to an entirely different topic, by the way. Try to keep up. But Overlord placement. So all the things that sound like filing your taxes, but are instead Zerg mechanics, are the things you want to copy from Serral. You can download the replay pack just like I did to bring you this content. So, Overlord placement, creep spread, oh my god. Kills the creep timber with the grenades. Creep spread efficiency, larva inject methods, and flexibility. Overlord timings, of course, as well as natural hatchery larva production. These are all important things. On top of, you know, watching Zerglings chase down a Reaper. But it's all the little things happening in the background. A lot of, I don't know if it's that kind of housekeeping, such as it is, that Zerg has to do just to essentially remain at an equivalent level of production or economy. Because if you don't have creep, if you don't have larva, it doesn't matter how many minerals and how much gas you have, you either won't know how to use it, or you won't be able to. Because if you don't have any larva, you can't build any units. If you can't build any units, that's not good. Source, just trust me, bro. Ah, yes. ByuN has no, it's Marines. It's, of course it's Marines. Here come two medevacs with some more Marines as well. Just in case you were wondering if that looked a little low. Serral has 67 drones and 3 bases. ByuN is doing a 2-base Marine timing. ByuN must find some damage here. Otherwise, Serral will outgrow him dramatically. Alright, the Marines looking for an opportunity. There are 8 roaches, 17 lings. He cuts through. Guns down. He waited for +1. And will just chew through those roaches. The +1 is such an... it's a massive upgrade. Each of those Marine shots doing 1 more damage adds up very quickly. Especially when they hit the stims and they can pull the trigger faster. Science. My favorite explanation, the one I accept for why stim allows you to fire faster, is it allows them... the fancy drugs allow them to account for recoil more quickly. Alright? Not that this game is trying to be too realistic here, but it allows them to line up their next shot more quickly and therefore land it, because we all know Marines have 100% accuracy. That's not just propaganda, okay? It's science. Hey boys, we moving across the map? Where can I get me one of them shields? Do you know that guy? Serral's Changeling, looking like the inspector on the map. We'll actually give him perfect Overseers as well. That's another unit that doesn't get enough love that Serral appreciates like no one else. Overseers with Changelings and Contaminate. And that Overseer with this Changeling over here, Tommy the Changeling. That's his Terran name. I couldn't pronounce his Zerg name. It'd be offensive if I tried. Allowed Serral to catch that army out on the map when ByuN wasn't expecting it, clearly. No siege tanks in position at all. And now Serral's knocking on the door. Rest in pieces, Tommy. It's pretty hardcore when they die. Oh my god. 171 to 118 supply. That's quite a gap. Even though it is mostly Roach Ravager, 77 drones to 46 SCVs. This is what happens if you let Serral get anything. Last game, ByuN's kept him off a 4th base. He was threatening the 3rd repeatedly. This game, Serral got 4 bases cleanly, got lair tech, and is now, before 10 minutes, going to have a hive and be maxed out. ByuN's has to do some damage here. But even though he has a lot of Marines and tanks, Serral can send waves of units at him. So the micro is going to have to be an impeccable. Ooh. Almost kills his own Marine with friendly fire there. Unfriendly fire. Roaches and Lang swinging around. Corrosive Biles. Looking for an opportunity. The siege tank setting up again. A lot of this positioning is actually disgusting. There's no Bane speed. Without Bane speed, ByuN's he's finding a lot of success here. Serral comes in, swings around with a counterattack, and that might give him the opportunity. ByuN's trying to cut through the roaches, but the meat is just not tender enough. And Serral strikes back with a dominant performance. A decisive game 2. Puts us back on track. That is the Serral we expect. ByuN's Reapers into Marines. Not that it can't work, but something Serral's dealt with time and time again. We're all tied up. 1-1. Now, challenge. How many barracks will be in ByuN's main? I guess we'll count the natural as his base as well, because, you know, nowadays. Loading in. Game 3 on Alcyone. The answer is, well, 1 now, but he went command center first, so. Double gas behind. So, the first game, I'm not sure. He may make a Reaper, but it looks like he's going to be teching up about as quickly as possible here. Serral, straight down the middle standard. Feels like the Reapers not really finding any success delayed the follow-up Marine push. And Serral just had too much. Just too many roaches. He knows ByuN's gonna go Marines. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when and how. But in kind of mauling the Reapers early, he ensured he could get a 3rd base up with plenty of drones before he had to deal with it. The follow-up attack with the medevacs. Serral grabs his 3rd. ByuN's made a Marine. And now a factory with a reactor on the barracks here. Bit of an odd wall off on the high ground. Serral is scouring the map, probably looking for starports. Occasionally we'll see proxy starport. Usually for a medevac or a liberator, but I dare not whisper the words battlecruiser. A word battlecruiser. I think it's just one word. It is just one word. I know it's just one word. Okay, I don't. It's not up for debate. Compound word. Hellions on the way. ByuN's falling back to the gold standard here, and the Grandmaster standard. Pretty much gold all the way up to Grandmaster. A strategy he's used for 10 years plus. Is it going to be Cloak Banshee? Indeed it is. Alien Banshees. I would love to see some of the Hyper Shees. A few other Terran players. Hero Marine trying out some of the Hyper Shees throughout this tournament as well. Very interesting to see the Speed Banshees, which are surprisingly good because almost no Zergs start out with anti-air in the early mid-game. It's roaches, ravagers, lings, banes. Some queens, yes, but having 5 or 6 speed banshees. Even if they do go hydras, you can easily outmaneuver them. But that doesn't seem really like ByuN's style. That'll probably delay too many marines. So... Banshee's on the way. Factory lining up another reactor. That may very well be for the racks. Looks like it here. In order to maximize the marine count. Or potentially the starport. Banshee headed up. And we'll see if Serral takes any damage from it. Spore Crawler in position. May lose a drone. He's poking at the queen there. Spore's well positioned to zone it out though. Serral up to 50 drones. And counting. And we've got that lair nearly completed. Quite a quick lair. Does he have a baneling nest? No. So, with no either just a mass roach build, or potentially mutas. Double Evo on the way now. Roaches with speed, a more consistent choice. Hellions, Banshees, poking around the edges. Able to get some of the creep here. Actually decloaks the Banshees. Infestation pit begins. Serral, looking content. That infestation pit indicates he just wants to sit back and make sure he can grind down any sort of attack that ByuN tries to do. He's not going for some big all-in himself. That marine a bit conspicuous there. The changeling, that is, somehow makes it by. +1 infantry weapons and armor. Banshees. Working their way through the trees. Flying slightly above, I assume. But the Overseer's there, and Serral just slaps one down. +1 ranged attack, +1 carapace, and a high. Road speed, about to complete. Serral looking to press forward. ByuN for the first time, getting 3 bases rather quickly. Off that command center first. And a little supply depot block there. Hive is halfway done. And a second factory already in production. Going to be a mass siege tank though. The problem is, Serral's gonna have Vipers so quick. So siege tanks might not be enough. ByuN loads up. And he's heading out. He needs to start really poking and prodding here in order to keep Serral under control. But it might already be too late to stop him from getting that late game tech. Combat shield is done. That's the trigger to really start attacking here. Quite late in the grand scheme of things, but because ByuN went for so much economy. Serral adrenal glands. Overlord speed. There's the 2 Vipers. Level 1 carapace done as well. The medevac's hiding in the trees. Well camouflaged. Siege tank taking the watchtower. Which is a bit amusing, it can do that. Or maybe it needs like a marine in there, I'm not sure. And that little vision blocker. But things setting up a slower start. Serral perfectly content to go to Hive. ByuN, I'm sure, begrudgingly accepting the need to sit back a little longer with this composition. Zerglings obliterated by a mine. Command center on its way over. Ultralisk Cavern in production. And we're setting up for a much more dramatic late game here. Some actual hive tech really coming online. Is there a Ghost Academy for ByuN's? No. I don't believe any Liberators either. Adding a few Marauders in, but still a long way off the Ultras. Oh, the Widow Mine. Trying to get a hit. Doesn't quite lock. Finds it there. ByuN doesn't... Banshee is not going to be enough over here. Losing 15 SCVs. 17, 18 SCVs. Yeah, the Banshee's helping. It's a lot of SCVs. 23, 25, 27, 30, 31. The number keeps going up. ByuN, this is too much damage. 37. 37 SCVs dead. He still has 53. He was building throughout, but a disastrous counterattack. Serral was fighting him on the field. He forced ByuN to pull back off the center of the map as well. So it wasn't like ByuN was watching the SCVs die and saying, good. But we might be seeing the reason why he prefers those two base timings here. That was altogether way too much damage for a couple dozen Zerglings to be getting at this stage of the game. Especially with still plenty of army supply on the field. The Roach is looking for a counter. Still though, ByuN does have a dangerous army. Widow Mine softens things up. Hellbats tanking some of these Banelings. Blinding Cloud helping out a lot. It looked like ByuN would get a massive split off there, but with the Blinding Cloud to force units in towards the Banes. Serral now starting to run the field. The Roaches will eventually be taken out. 3-3 is on the way for ByuN, but Serral has taken the gold base here. He now has a significant income advantage. Ultras in production, and ByuN doesn't have a Ghost Academy. He doesn't have Liberators. He's struggling across the board. Serral has money in the bank now as well. These Vipers. He hasn't taken out either of the bases on the right, but he's just going to go right up the center. The depot wall, it looks nice, but can easily be bashed through by some Banelings. Oh, a bit of an odd fight there. And doesn't end up finding the angle in order to use the Vipers. Burrows the Zerglings. ByuN did indeed notice. They will be gunned down. So, ByuN's starting to stabilize here, but definitely wants to get Ghosts or Liberators soon. He may just try to rely on Marauders. There's the Ghost Academy, so he is accepting that might be necessary. Oh. Widow Mine. Widow Mine's just zoning out. Parasitic Bomb. The Medivacs are out of energy, so they're just kind of wandering forward at their own accord here. But the Marauders don't quite finish off the Ultralisk. Badly bruised, just the one Ultra on the back. Retreating. The Zerglings doing a lot of damage. Parasitic Bombs helping out. But there's still so much bio out here. The army supply of ByuN, 126 to just 107 of the finisher here. +2 melee attacks, but +3 infantry armor. As ByuN will take something of an upgrade advantage for a while here. Without the Ghost, though. Serral actually doesn't have that much gas in the bank. ByuN has held the line. It's been a bit messy, but he's held. Three more command centers in production. The things ByuN can do with M&M. Sorry. Marines, Marauders, Mines. Oh, what? A Serral Fester. Oh my god. That was a slaughter. I need to see that again. How did he have an infestor up there? What? Where did they come from? How did he even get over there? Either way, though. Oh my god. Pops up and crashes through. Oh my, devastation. Terrible, terrible damage dealt to Serral there. Oh, Widowmines actually hit a big chunk of Banelings, which will help a lot in dealing with this attack. We should maybe see a Blinding Cloud here. Uses Parasitic Bomb, more reliable damage. But the Concave... Serral has the money, though. He can keep leaning on ByuN until he crumbles. The Ghost... Singular Ghost entering production. He needs more than that. It's getting harder and harder to deal with these Vipers, the Ultras. Some Hydras as well joining. Just something a little more ranged. Widow Mine dealt with. Another mine. That one dragged into the Terran army. But the Ultra not going to compete with it. Looking for an infestor there. Serral opening up the map some more. The Ghost trickling out. Still so many Banelings on the high ground here. Trying to zone out. Widowmine doesn't find enough. Through the streets of command centers. Drags the mines onto the army. The Hydra's at the back. The SCV's on the run through the little mineral wall area. And Serral looking for a connection. Down goes a planetary. Banelings rolling in again. Serral refills immediately. ByuN down to 160 supply. Some brutal exchanges. But the fact that Serral is about even on minerals lost and only has lost a bit more gas does bode well. But we've seen Zerg players get close to killing Terrans in the past. But once the Ghosts are out and the planetaries are locked down, it gets a bit more difficult, even for someone like Serral. Well, there's no one like Serral, even for Serral. Get some snipes. The Ghosts not so bad as an auto-attacking unit themselves. ByuN understanding that, leaves them there to tank. They actually take 5 to 6 Banelings to kill. 12 SCVs down with it. Serral with so much money in the bank. But ByuN is not dead. He's building more and more Ghosts, getting multiple starports down. Widowmine dragged out, which kind of gives away that Serral is clearly focusing on an attack here. Does he have Drilling Claws? Snipes onto the Ultra. Widowmines on everything. Loses a Ghost. Doesn't quite get the Ultra. Serral hitting both fronts. And the command center, I don't think it'll make it past another wave, but EMP onto the Vipers. Small repair, he might make it. The SCVs, he's coming back around with the Banes. He lifts the command center, but the fungal over the top and catches the Ghosts. Well, the Widowmines obliterate everything there. 10 more SCVs down. The command center will escape, but ByuN losing so much. Serral with always another infestor. Drags out some more of the mines. Turret taken out. And some Ghost caught. Cloak, not gonna be enough. Overseers over the top of everything. And ByuN just can't seem to keep enough together here. Lurker upgrade finishing in case Serral needs a finishing move. But just grinding him down. What, 200 supply? He just had 110 Zerglings in production. But Serral strikes back with a vengeance for the first game. ByuN put him on the back foot, but Serral sprung forward and unleashed hundreds of Zerglings and seemingly endless Zerg in general, and takes the series 2-1. Still quite an experience. A pretty fun one, in my opinion. Serral still showing how you have to keep him busy. Otherwise, he will run you down and murder you. And he'll do it with a slight smile on his face, very politely. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you got the means of motivation, it'd be awesome to check out a Patreon. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free. And it'd be awesome if you could check out next video from Autoplayer Recommended. Would be awesome. That helps out Allah. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.